Alright guys, so we're going to be going through some new information regarding the earthquake event within Fortnite. A lot of the Season 8 leaked information will be within this video. We also have some new audio from the earthquakes within this game. I want to talk about what we have so far regarding this event, how it's going to affect the map, what changes we're going to see, how this event is actually going to start, when exactly it's going to happen, all this insane stuff, because it should be really cool. Obviously, we had the Ice Storm event, we had the Marshmallow event, and those were decent events, but I feel like this earthquake event, especially it actually, coming at the end of Season 7, beginning of Season 8, this is a real event. This is one of the big events that actually changes, the whole map, changes the theme for the next season, and brings us into the next couple of months of Fortnite. With the Ice Storm event, that was just a quick 2-week thing with the ice zombies, and they took it away. I mean, it's like it never happens pretty much. And the Marshmallow event, it was cool, it was unique, but it was a one-time thing. It really had nothing to do with the storyline, had nothing to do with the game, and that's that. But this earthquake event, it's going to be pretty big, and a lot of stuff could come from this. We could potentially even see some volcanoes from this as well, because last time, if you guys remember, back in, pretty sure it was September, it was one of the first cube events. A bunch of people were saying that there was going to be a volcano in Loot Lake, or there's going to be a volcano even back when Moisty Mire were still around. Like, they were going to replace Moisty Mire with this volcano location. There was no code for it back then, but that was the belief. But now, there's actually some reason to believe that because of these earthquakes, because of the changes in the map that we may see, because of the tremors and just, sort of natural disaster type stuff happening within this game moving into Season 8, a volcano actually seems fairly possible. So let's start off here with the new information. I'm going to play you guys up on screen the audio that was just leaked for these different earthquakes, and a bunch of them, at least the first one, I don't know, I really do get the volcano vibe. Obviously, there is 100% confirmation within the code that there are going to be earthquakes, and I'll show you guys the code in a second, but the volcanoes, we haven't found them in the code yet. Obviously, maybe we'll see an update or a patch that gives us that information very soon, but I do get that volcano vibe. Let me play you guys the audio, and then we'll talk about it. So obviously, guys, that was pretty cool. This is from the game. This is all real stuff. It gave you different levels of the earthquake tremors, and I do think this is not exactly going to be the whole event, because this event seems like it's going to be different from the code. There's going to be 50 different sort of iterations of this event, 50 different earthquakes, 50 different tremors, and I think what we saw there, even though it gave like the large tremor and the medium tremor and the smaller tremor, I think there's going to be a lot more when the actual event actually happens at the beginning, or at least like, the last day of Season 7 that brings us directly into Season 8. So this could be a lot of the gradual beginnings of the earthquake tremors. I think it's pretty safe to say that this earthquake event, like I said again, it's going to start just with random tremors around the map. You'll start hearing it, louder in other areas, lower in different areas, and in general, it won't affect the game that much, but that'll be sort of the beginning of the event. And then slowly, as we get towards the end of Season 7, you'll start seeing, presumably actual cracks in the map, actual areas where, the earthquake is clearly affecting the game. I would see buildings probably start to break, and different cracks in the towers and tilted towers, and different pieces of a building and signs falling over. That's honestly what is going to happen with this earthquake event. There's nothing else they can really do, honestly. That is what would happen. Now, just to show you guys the code up on screen, just to make sure you guys know what I'm talking about here, this is the full code. Pretty much everything we have from the recent update for this, earthquake event. You see here a bunch of the different lines of code that's highlighted, and everything else, it's sort of hard to decipher what exactly it's saying. We can pick out different lines of code. We have the first one here, which is the main one, which is why people have been saying this event is going to be a longer event. It's not just going to be a one and done thing. I mean, I think personally that the one and done event, the main part of this event will be at the end when it'll actually, start doing damage to the map. But the code literally says Season 8 lead up events, and it goes through a bunch of different lines of code of what's going to be happening. Again, it's hard to decipher what this means. S8, obviously Season 8, lead up curve, Athena, prototype, and then the one we've been talking about as well, number of events, 50. 50 is put into there, and then everything else, I don't really know what that means, but it's saying true. Who knows what that is? And it goes back again to a bunch of different lines of code that relate to obviously the earthquake event, but don't have any meaning to us right now. So like I said, again, we're obviously going to get more information as to what exactly this event is going to do to the game, but right now at least we have tons of code all relevant to this earthquake event. And the one piece of code that helps us the most is the Season 8 lead up events, and then also number of events, 50. That gives us another idea as to how this event is going to play out. Another one here, just sort of, zoomed in on it in a different areas from a tweet. Season 8 lead up events asset, gameplay queue, Athena event, earthquake tremors. Again, multiple here, tremors, lead up events. So hours remaining. That's another thing, which I don't really know. I wish it gave us a time. I wish it gave us an actual date. Obviously the code, they don't work. It doesn't work in sort of calendar dates. It works in its own sort of Fortnite hours. So obviously there is some in-game countdown that we can't see that's, preparing to begin this earthquake event and start the first tremor. That first tremor is going to be very soon. We're pretty much at the end of Season 7. We only have a couple weeks left, and if we have 50 tremors that are going to start, being heard and seen all around the map, that's going to start very soon. I just wish we had the actual countdown from the code at least pulled out so we can see some sort of idea as to when this is going to start. So unfortunately we don't have an exact date, an exact time on which this is going to start. I thought maybe the marshmallow event would be a good starting time, but obviously that didn't happen. Again, very soon though, we'll see this. If anything, they'll probably do it with one of the updates, so any of the Tuesdays, maybe as soon as this Tuesday or next Tuesday's update, we'll see our first tremor. And then once that first update actually either adds in the tremors, or I mean the tremors are already in the code, but I feel like there isn't enough in the code right now to actually suffice for a full event, because like I said before, the audio that we saw, it's cool, and we don't have visuals, so it's hard to see what exactly that would look like, but it doesn't sound like enough for an actual full-on event that really changes the game. Like, there's nothing in the code right now that's actually saying that the tremors are going to create these cracks in the map, or it's going to change anything, or it's going to break anything. Like, there's nothing in the code that says that. You just have the audio, and you just have the fact that there are going to be earthquakes. I think it's pretty clear that we're not just going to see a bunch of earthquakes within the game that don't actually mean anything. They're not going to add all these earthquake sounds just for effect, and then Season 8, nothing happens. There's no actual, like, if the actual event is just, you're walking around Fortnite and then you hear some rumbles under the map, and then that's it, you know what I mean? Or you hear a really loud rumble, but it doesn't do anything, it doesn't change the map, and then at the end of Season 7, you hear, the 50th rumble. Like I said, there is confirmation that there are 50 tremors within this game, but if the 50th one doesn't do anything and it's just another one of those rumbles and you just hear it shakes the map and then the next season starts and it's like nothing ever happened, that would be not only lackluster, but that would be pointless for putting all the effort to make this event what it's, what it could be, instead of just like, nothing, you know what I mean? So I do think the updates that we'll see, this Tuesday or next Tuesday will add more code, and it will add a lot more to actually make this event something substantial, and we'll probably see, I think, honestly, it makes sense anyway. The volcano thing that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, that's obviously more of a stretch. There isn't any code directly relating to the volcano event, but if there's any time we could see some sort of volcano event, now would be the time. This would be the event for it to happen. But think about the other extreme, where we have either a volcano, which would be the craziest thing ever, like a volcano location, a new volcano actually on the map, or to the other side where we just have a couple tremors and nothing happens. So if you want to think about it, maybe there's going to be this good middle ground moderation event where it's really cool. You see cracks in the game, it's affecting the map, but it's not that crazy like a volcano. So if you really want to have, decent expectations and you don't want to overhype this event, I would say stick to that middle ground, but it needs to be there. If it's nothing, then that would suck. And if it's something crazy like a volcano, that'd be really cool. And they definitely overdo themselves if they did that. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you guys did enjoy, see you guys later.